I've been trying lately to put a video together having multiple testimonies, not salvation type testimonies, but more so miracle testimonies, what God has done in people's lives in recent event testimonies, how God might have supplied their needs financially, or God might have healed them, or God might have brought their relationship back together, and God might have saved them in one way or another. And I've had difficulties getting testimonies through local churches. The largest church on the Gold Coast basically said, no, look, we don't want you asking people here about testimonies. And I stayed and watched one of their services, which happened to have one of their testimonies in it, and how that person was praising that particular church for what that church did. And it was a little disheartening that they're not really giving the glory to God, they're giving the glory to the church. So anyway, I faced quite a few difficulties in getting testimonies, and people in churches getting in the way, and the few people that I asked about whether they had testimonies, many of them didn't. And I was talking with someone who made me think about getting testimonies online and seeing what I could find online. I found a few, and I'm going to put the video together. It looks like it's going to take me quite a deal of time to go through these testimonies and find good testimonies and put them online. But one thing I noticed, two things. I noticed one testimony from a lady on TikTok, and I've looked at Facebook testimonies, YouTube testimonies, TikTok testimonies, etc. This one was on TikTok. I only watched a little bit of the testimony, and I scrolled down to see what other testimonies were there, because I'm not trying to get the full comprehension of each testimony at this stage. I'm just trying to get an idea of where I'll find testimonies. And two or three items before that particular TikTok message, here she was promoting a product that she was selling. And it made her testimony then feel commercial, like the testimony of that person in that church where they were praising the church for being so good. And that made me a little bit concerned. Not any doubts in God or doubts in humanity or doubts in miracles or anything like that, but it's like, why people want to say things that might be for God and about God, but they have to put their own self as some kind of power in it, their own church as some kind of powerful thing in it, that it must direct to that church, etc. Even more on this. I continued to watch, and I saw a few other testimonies, and it seemed that more than half of the testimonies were about what church things were doing things for them. Testimonies, I think I'm trying to look one up right now, but there was one on Facebook, and it was a youth organisation, Teen Challenge I think it was, and this girl was giving her testimony about how Teen Challenge did so much for her, which is great, which is fine. It's, no different to saying what a skin cancer foundation did for somebody by helping them discover a skin cancer and getting it cut out. How the medicine of man has done a wonderful thing. Sure, it's a nice thing, it's a good thing. But to praise an organisation, even if it is a Christian organisation, a church, to even mention what that church did for you as an individual church, you're putting the church above God. You're saying, I needed this church to be saved, to be healed, to have financial blessings. If the glory is not going 100% to God, if they mention what an organisation did for them, they're glorifying that organisation. Who are we here to glorify? Organisations, churches, particular people, the ministry of a particular pastor or something? Or are we here to glorify God? Why is it that it seems at least half the testimonies, to me it seems like more than half the testimonies are testimonies of how a man or an organisation or something in the natural did something for them. It might have been a Christian organisation, but they're saying what the organisation did. That is so disheartening, that the glory is not just purely going to God.